Think of August 13th not as just another date, but as a living mirror held gently, and sometimes boldly, by the universe itself. On this day, the cosmos has a way of showing you where you truly stand in your journey. It won't only reflect the victories you've already claimed or the wisdom you've already integrated, but it will also reveal the truths you've kept tucked away, the silent corners of your life that you've been hesitant to explore, and the dreams that have been quietly waiting for you to notice them. This reflection may feel like sunlight pouring into a room you hadn't opened in years, or it may feel like a wave rushing in, stirring everything you thought was settled. It could be tender, it could be humbling, and often it will be both at the same time. There's a quiet but profound beauty in such a reflection. It strips away the noise and leaves you face to face with yourself, not the version of you shaped for others, but the one that exists when all the pretending and performing have fallen away. The energy of August 13th invites you to look without flinching, to honor both your light and your shadows, and to see them not as enemies, but as collaborators in your becoming. This is not about perfection, it's about truth. And truth, when embraced, always carries the seeds of transformation. If you allow it, this day can serve as the beginning of a new chapter in your story. Not because some mystical wave will sweep away all your challenges in an instant, but because you will begin to see your path with new clarity. The sharp edges of confusion may soften. The weight of what no longer belongs to you may start to lift. And you may feel, perhaps for the first time in a long while, that deep, steady pull toward where you are truly meant to go. You'll begin to understand what's worth holding tightly in your hands and heart, and what is better released into the flow of time so it can find where it belongs, which may not be with you anymore. There's something almost poetic about the way the universe works here. It doesn't bend itself to our human calendars or bow to the dates we circle and ache. But every so often, its great tides align with our small squares on a page, creating a moment we can't ignore. August 13th, 2025, carries that rare alignment. It's as though the cosmic rhythm, which usually hums beneath the surface of your daily life, rises up to meet you directly, offering you a choice: to keep drifting as you are, or to step more consciously into your highest path. Before we go deeper, I want you to do 3 things right now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave the number 777 in the comments. This number carries powerful divine energy and will help this message reach more of the chosen ones. You can also share it. Now let's go deeper. How this energy arrives for you will be deeply personal. For some, it may be a whisper, an unexpected thought that suddenly feels like the missing piece you've been seeking. For others, it may feel like a storm, shaking the foundations of plans you thought were secure. And for a few, it may appear as a doorway that opens without warning, offering a path you never saw coming. The form doesn't matter as much as your readiness to recognize it. Because when the universe hands you such a moment, the most important response is not analysis or hesitation. It's trust. Trust that even if the reflection you see is challenging, it is given to you out of love. Trust that letting go of something familiar is not the same as losing yourself. Trust that the parts of your path that feel uncertain are often the ones with the greatest potential to bring you closer to your soul's calling. And most of all, trust that you are not alone in this. The same force that aligns the stars, that shapes the tides, and that orchestrates the timing of your life is guiding you through this moment. You may notice subtle shifts around you, the way certain conversations seem to carry a deeper weight, or how some situations suddenly feel lighter as if they've resolved themselves in your absence. You might find clarity in places that were once foggy, or feel an inner nudge to take a step you've been resisting. These are not coincidences. They are the signs of the alignment working in your life, preparing you for the next season of your journey. Stepping into this new chapter doesn't require you to have all the answers. It only asks you to be open enough to see what's being revealed, brave enough to release what's holding you back, and willing enough to walk through the doors that open for you. On August 13th, the universe will meet you halfway, but it will be your choice to take the step forward. And if you do, you might just find that this moment becomes one of those rare points in life you look back on years later, realizing it was the day the story truly changed. Some dates on the calendar pass quietly, blending into the steady rhythm of life like unremarkable pebbles along a vast shoreline. You flip the page, the days roll forward, and nothing in particular stands out. But then there are the rare ones, the ones that seem to hum with an invisible charge, vibrating faintly beneath the surface of time itself, as though an unseen hand had circled them long before you were even born. These are the days that seem to look back at you. They carry an energy you can feel without knowing why, like an echo in your chest or a whisper in your mind that says, "Pay attention, this matters," August 13th, 2025 is one of those days that at first glance it might seem ordinary. It's a Wednesday. The world will wake up as it always does. You'll rub the sleep from your eyes, make your tea or coffee, scroll through your messages, maybe sigh at the traffic outside your window or the to-do list waiting for you. On the surface, nothing will appear different. But just beneath that predictable rhythm, the air will hold something else, a quiet, almost imperceptible shift. You might notice it in the way the morning light feels softer, or in how your thoughts wander toward places you haven't visited in years. You may feel as if time itself is moving differently, not rushing you forward, but holding you in a space where something is about to happen. The mystery of this day is not merely a matter of astrology, numerology, or cosmic symbolism, though all of these form threads in its tapestry. What makes this date unique is the convergence of cycles, personal, planetary, and spiritual. It is a moment when different timelines, some you've been consciously walking, others you've been unconsciously carried along, meet in one point, much like the beams of a lighthouse sweeping across a dark and restless ocean. For those who have felt that life has been holding its breath, waiting for some unseen signal to exhale, this could be the day that signal arrives. If you've been standing at a threshold, sensing that change is near but unsure how or when it will come, August 13th may carry the moment where the invisible becomes visible. It might not come with fanfare. It might be a quiet realization while washing your hands, an unexpected phone call, a conversation that shifts your perspective entirely. But whatever form it takes, it will feel like pieces you've been holding separately for years suddenly click into place. To understand the deeper vibration of this day, we can turn to its energetic signature. In numerology, the date carries the frequency of transformation and alignment. The number 13 has long been misunderstood, dismissed as unlucky in some cultures. Yet in many ancient spiritual traditions, it holds the exact opposite meaning. It speaks of rebirth, of cycles reaching their natural conclusion, of the fertile ground left behind after the harvest. 13 is the number of the turning point, the place in the spiral of life where endings feed beginnings. It is the quiet after the storm, when the air smells sharper and cleaner, when the ground is soft enough to receive new seeds. Then there is the month, August, the 8th month of the year. In numerology, 8 is the number of abundance, balance, and karmic return. Its shape, a perfect infinity loop, reminds us that energy moves in cycles, that what we send out eventually finds its way back to us, often multiplied. It teaches that our choices, even the smallest ones, ripple outward, weaving future events long before we can see their patterns. When 13 meets 8, as they do on this day, the message is not of loss but of passage. It suggests an ending that is, in truth, a crossing into something far greater. It's a reminder that closure doesn't always arrive with sadness. Sometimes it comes with the quiet joy of knowing you have outgrown the past. This is the kind of energy that can feel like a sudden lightning strike in the middle of a dark night, illuminating everything at once. Something tangled, heavy, or unresolved for months or even years could finally loosen and fall away, revealing the path beneath your feet with unexpected clarity. This day's energy also speaks of karmic balance, not in the sense of punishment or reward, but in the sense of harmony being restored. If you've been carrying burdens that were never truly yours, this could be the day they are set down. If you've been sowing kindness, effort, and truth, you may see the first shoots of those seeds breaking through the surface. It is as if the universe pauses, looks at the weight you've been carrying, and says, enough, it's time for something new. But the magic of August 13, 2025 is not only in what may happen outwardly, it's also in what could shift inside you. There are moments in life when you realize you are no longer the same person who began the journey. The hurts that once defined you don't grip you as tightly. The fears that used to stop you don't speak as loudly. The dreams that once felt far away suddenly feel possible. On this day, you may see your own reflection differently, not as someone waiting for life to change, but as someone who has been quietly preparing for this exact turning point. It is important to understand that the energy of a day like this doesn't force transformation, it invites it. The universe can open the door, but you must choose to step through. That might mean releasing a pattern, forgiving someone or yourself, saying yes to an opportunity that scares you, or simply allowing yourself to believe that you are ready for the life you've been imagining. This is a day to trust your intuition, because the messages will be clearer than usual. Sometimes, the greatest shifts are not loud. They happen in a single breath, a single decision, a single moment of realizing you are free to choose differently. That is the power August 13th holds, the power to change not just the direction of your life, but the way you carry yourself through it. And perhaps the most mysterious part of all is this. you may not see the full meaning of this day as it happens. You may only recognize it in hindsight, months or even years from now, when you look back and realize that everything began to shift here, in the middle of an ordinary Wednesday that wasn't ordinary at all. While the exact astrological influence of August 13, 2025 will depend on the unique map of your own birth chart, the collective energy of this day carries a powerful and unmistakable pulse. The cosmos in mid-August will be alive with planetary alignments that seem to work like a mirror, reflecting truth into places where it's been hidden, and opening the door for clarity in situations you may have been struggling to understand. This is a period when illusions can crack open, when the fog that's clouded your judgment begins to thin, and when the quiet whispers of your intuition suddenly become impossible to ignore. The energy around this date doesn't just touch the surface of life, it goes straight to the core. It is a time ripe for revelations, for confrontations with what is real, and for honest assessments of who and what still belongs in your world. For many, this may involve personal relationships, both the ones that nurture your spirit and the ones that quietly drain it. The celestial currents of August 13th seem determined to push you toward a truer version of yourself, even if that means asking you to loosen your grip on something or someone that no longer resonates with the frequency of who you are becoming. This is why the day can feel like both a blessing and a challenge. The gift lies in the clarity, in the sudden understanding of what needs to shift for you to grow. The test lies in your response to that clarity. Will you honor what you see, or will you turn away because change feels uncomfortable? The universe, in moments like these, isn't trying to punish you. It is clearing a path, sweeping away the debris of what is outdated, what is stagnant, and what is standing between you and the life you're meant to live. And the special nature of this date isn't confined to the distant dance of planets and stars. It is about the meeting point between those cosmic movements and your inner world. It's about how those energies touch your emotions, your thoughts, and your deepest desires. If you have been navigating a season of uncertainty, where questions have felt heavier than answers, and where your next step has seemed hidden, this is the kind of day when answers can arrive. They may not come in the form of lightning bolts or grand gestures. More often, they slip in quietly, through moments so ordinary they almost go unnoticed until you realize their significance. You might find yourself in a conversation where the truth emerges without warning, revealing something you needed to hear, even if it shakes you. You could feel an unfamiliar surge of courage rise within you, propelling you to make the decision you've been postponing, send the message you drafted 100 times in your head, or step into the opportunity you've been circling but never dared to claim. Or perhaps the message from the universe will come through what others might call coincidence, a song that plays at just the right moment, a number you keep seeing that carries personal meaning, a symbol that appears so precisely aligned with your thoughts that it's impossible to dismiss as random. These moments have a way of feeling intimate, as though the universe has bent the rules of reality just enough to tap you on the shoulder and say, "This is for you." Pay attention. On August 13th, you may feel as if you are in a private conversation with something far greater than yourself, a quiet exchange between your soul and the divine intelligence that threads through all things. This is the kind of day when the veil between you and that greater wisdom feels thin enough to see through. The kind of day when your heart is more open to receive, and when you can sense the gentle but steady pull of destiny moving you forward. If you listen, if you stay present, you might discover that the guidance you've been seeking has been surrounding you all along, waiting for the right moment to be heard. And perhaps this is that moment, not to force change, not to chase after answers, but to recognize that they are arriving in their own time, exactly when you are ready for them. So what's the real secret of August 13, 2025? It's not that the date itself is magically infused with power like some mystical number in a book of prophecies. The truth is subtler, more intimate, and far more powerful. The mystery of this day lies in the alignment it represents, the moment when your own inner current finally syncs with the greater river of life. Picture your journey as a vast, winding river that has carried you through seasons of calm waters, restless storms, and long stretches where nothing seemed to change. Most of the time, you paddle steadily, sometimes against the current, sometimes letting it carry you. But then there are rare moments when the river's current suddenly strengthens and speeds up, pulling you forward faster than you imagined. You don't have to fight. You don't even have to plan every move. You simply find yourself being carried, not aimlessly, but towards something you've been heading toward for a long time, even if you didn't know it. That's the essence of August 13, 2025. It's not about fate swooping down from the heavens with grand gestures. It's about a shift in flow, a synchronizing between where you are and where you're meant to be. On this day, events, people, and opportunities may align in a way that suddenly feels inevitable, as if the road ahead has been secretly paved while you're busy working on yourself, healing, or simply living. But here's the part most people miss. This alignment won't necessarily feel like comfort. In fact, it might feel like the opposite. True growth almost never wears the cloak of ease. On this day, the universe may challenge you, not as punishment, but as a deliberate preparation for the very blessings you've been asking for. The tests may come in the form of situations that stretch your patience, push you to enforce boundaries, or require you to summon courage you didn't think you had. You see, it's one thing to want to dream. It's another thing entirely to be ready to hold it. And readiness isn't proven in the moment the dream arrives. It's proven in the moments before, in how you respond when the universe hands you situations that demand you step into your higher self. If you want to make the most of August 13, 2025, awareness will be your greatest ally. Walk into the day as though you are stepping into a room where every word, every face, every small twist of circumstance is part of a larger conversation between you and the universe. You may find emotions bubbling closer to the surface than usual. You may notice synchronicities stacking up, the kind of repeating signs, symbols, or numbers that feel too precise to be coincidence. Pay attention to the subtleties. Who walks into your space? Who leaves it? What conversations happen without you forcing them? What thoughts return to you over and over, almost like a whisper from somewhere beyond reason? These are the guideposts. You might also feel a strong, almost magnetic pull to close a chapter you've been holding onto for too long. Maybe it's a relationship that no longer nourishes you, a habit that keeps you small, or a belief that quietly undermines your confidence. If the impulse to release something comes, trust it. Don't overanalyze. Sometimes the very act of letting go is what creates the opening for the next season of your life to arrive. And here's something else. If something does fall away on or around this date, resist the urge to see it as loss. Instead, see it as rearrangement. The universe rarely removes without replacing. The space created is sacred. It's where new life, new joy, new love, new purpose can grow. But at the same time, be watchful for the moments that make your heart beat faster. If an opportunity appears, one that stirs a deep, wordless knowing in your gut, lean toward it, even if it scares you. Especially if it scares you. Fear is often the signpost that you're standing at the edge of a threshold that could change everything. And above all, keep your heart open. The greatest mystery of August 13, 2025 is that it may give you exactly what you need, but not in the shape you imagined. The gift might come disguised as a challenge. The challenge might contain the gift. You may not fully understand the meaning of this date while you're living it. But later, when you look back, you might see that it was the day something shifted. The day you were carried forward, faster, deeper, truer, toward the life you were always meant to live. Therefore, I ask you with all sincerity and warmth to ready yourself for the unique energy that August 13th will bring. This is not just an ordinary day on the calendar, nor is it simply another date passing by in the quiet flow of time. It is a living moment filled with the pulse of the universe, carrying an unseen current that can transform the very way you feel, think, and connect with life itself. The energy of this day is like a fresh wind after long stillness, gentle enough to soothe the soul, yet strong enough to awaken the spirit. It is the kind of energy that can clear the dust from your vision, soften the weight you carry, and inspire you to step into a version of yourself that feels truer, lighter, and more alive. But to truly receive it, you must prepare yourself inwardly. Preparation here does not mean merely waiting for something to happen. It means opening your heart to possibilities you may have once dismissed, quieting the noise of doubt that often drowns out the whispers of guidance, and giving yourself permission to hope again. This day's power lies not only in the cosmic alignments above, but also in the willingness you cultivate within. Just as a seed can only grow when the soil is ready, the gifts of August 13th will only bloom in a spirit that is open and receptive. The message from the universe that arrives on this day will not necessarily be delivered in grand, booming signs or miraculous events, although for some it may. More often, it comes in the gentlest ways, a sudden realization in the quiet of morning, a conversation that changes the way you see someone, an intuitive nudge that feels too strong to ignore, or an unexpected opportunity that seems to appear just when you needed it most. These are not accidents. They are the universe's way of speaking directly to you, reminding you that you are not navigating your life alone. Every step, every breath, every choice is part of a larger tapestry woven with both your efforts and divine timing. To embrace this message fully means to allow it to guide you, even if it asks you to leave behind old fears or patterns you've grown comfortable with. Sometimes the message will challenge you. inviting you to let go of what no longer serves you, not as a punishment, but as an opening to something greater. Other times, it will affirm what you already know deep down but have been hesitant to trust. In both cases, its intention is the same, to lead you closer to the life you were meant to live, the one in which your soul feels at home. And as you receive this energy and message, do not keep it locked inside like a secret treasure. Let it overflow into your relationships, into the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you give. Offer your loved ones the gift of a new beginning, not only in material form, but through the way you show up for them. Sometimes the most precious gift we can give is not an object but a presence of understanding, encouragement, and love that makes another person feel seen, valued, and uplifted. Share with them the hope you've discovered, the clarity you've gained, the light that has touched your spirit. In doing so, you will not only honor the gift you've received from the universe, but also become a channel through which that same energy flows to others. August 13th has the potential to become a milestone in your journey, a day you look back on and realize that something shifted, even if subtly, and set you on a path that feels more aligned with who you truly are. All it asks of you is openness, readiness, and the courage to let its message shape you. The universe is already moving toward you. Now, meet it halfway. Step into this day not with expectation of how things must happen, but with trust that whatever unfolds will be exactly what your soul needs at this stage of your life. And in that trust, you will find the space for miracles to happen, both within you and in the lives of those you hold dear.